Yo, get up on here just to let you know my testimony. I couldn't been delivered from that nicotine spirit without the help of God. For about 12 years, I was smoking cigarettes. Newport Hundreds was my thing. I started off with Newport Shorts. I even tried Marlboro Menthols, 100s. Everything had to be 100 because I had to get packed in. I had to get all my nicotine in. I had to go ahead get my, scratch that itch. I was smoking all that doggone time. And I was feeling for everything that I can get. My caffeine, I had to get it in my body. I started drinking coffee for a minute, but coffee didn't work. I just had to have my cigarettes. So the way I got delivered from cigarettes is when I noticed myself starting to, act like a fiend for real. Walking around, itching for a cigarette. If I didn't have a cigarette while I was outside, I couldn't function. I couldn't do anything without that cigarette. It's just like crackheads couldn't do anything without crack. That's the way I was. And if I didn't have no cigarettes or I couldn't afford no cigarettes, I'll sit up here and go buy a ashtray outside and look for cigarette butts. That's all I used to do. Find cigarette butts, just clean it off and used to burn the end of it and smoke the end, the filter. Used to burn the filter, so I burn all the germs off and everything, and then light it up and smoke. And once I started really noticing that this is crazy, this is not me, I'm not supposed to be doing this, that's when something clicked in me, like, man, I need to get out of here. I need to get away from this lifestyle of trying to smoke cigarettes, trying to drink alcohol, and smoke weed and all that stuff. I had to get away from all that stuff. So my first step was with cigarettes. I had to get rid of. And there was one day when I gave my life back to the Lord in 2008. I gave my life back to the Lord, and one of the first things I did, I asked the Lord to take the cigarettes from me. But I was still smoking. I was in church, I was doing my thing, I was raising my hands, I was worshiping God and everything. I said I wanted to get my the cigarettes taken away from me, the addiction, but I really didn't. So I wasn't, immediately delivered from cigarettes, nicotine. You kind of found out, 2012 coming around. I prayed a real deep prayer saying that I wanted to get rid of my cigarettes habit and nicotine habit and everything that is not of God, because I've started getting serious with God. Started to notice that He moves for other people, and I'm sitting up here still smoking cigarettes and still wanting to smoke, still don't want to get rid of that habit, saying that I do. So I look at myself and I say, I honestly want to stop smoking cigarettes. I had a heart-to-heart with God, because I always said when I preach that God's ear is attached to our hearts. It's like glued to our hearts, because God hears every motive and everything that we have on our hearts. God, whatever we if we're not honest with God and walking in integrity and tell Him what we actually want, He's not going to listen to us. He knows what's on our hearts. He'll be like, okay, be honest with me. He'll keep telling you, be honest with me, be honest with me, be honest with me. That's exactly what He was telling me. Be honest with me. So I came to Him like, look, I smoke cigarettes. I don't know how to stop, but I'm asking for your help for deliverance from this thing. So I waited. He waited because I can't wait on God, because God, he wait on me all the time, you know. It's not like we waiting on guys trying to put him in our own time. He's not in our own time. He already has some things that he has set up for us. He got a time limit. It's a time and place for everything, like he said under the sun in Ecclesiastes. You know, it's a time and place and time for everything. So this was his time. He wanted me to get myself right and have dignity and integrity to go and move for him to start delivering. I had to do some things and be honest with him about my deliverance. Did I really want this? God wanted me, he wanted me to prove to myself. He already knew I can do it. But he wanted to build my confidence. So it was a minute before he delivered me. But long story short, 2016 come around, I prayed this one final prayer. And as I prayed, I was smoking a cigarette. Lord, take these cigarettes from me. Take away this nicotine, this monkey off my back. And this is when God showed me a vision of a monkey, like the crazy monkey off of Family Guy. That's what he showed me. And Christmas Eve, 2016, I prayed the final prayer, and I was dead serious. I was honest with integrity. Lord, take these cigarettes from me. And that night, something happened. And me having addiction like that, smoking, almost smoking a pack a day. God said he moved that night, Christmas Eve, and he took that addiction away from me. He said, Dre, I got you. I went to sleep. Usually I'll wake up in the morning craving a cigarette. But this day, Christmas Day, I didn't have a want or a need or a craving at all. I quit cold turkey and never had a cigarette since. I tried to smoke a cigarette. I just didn't have it in me to keep smoking a cigarette. I lit up a cigarette, like, okay, but I didn't want it. So that was the day I got delivered totally from it. Because after that, I couldn't light up a cigarette. I couldn't stand the smell of cigarettes. You know, I always had to get away from folks that used to smoke cigarettes. But after I stopped smoking cigarettes, and after a while, I began smelling everything. Everything. My sense of smell started opening up. I started smelling everything to the fullness. And that's exactly what God wanted me to have. He wanted me to have a fullness of life. He wanted me to smell the smells that he smells. He loves fragrances. As you could tell, he loved barbecue and he loved the smell of barbecue. That's the Old Testament when it was sacrificing and everything. He don't like barbecue no more. But it's all good. There's another story. So, but that's my testimony in a nutshell, and I'm sticking to it. God bless you.